You're listening to the Fan Club Podcast, where two polar opposites discover each other's fandoms for the very first time.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Fan Club Podcast. My name is Sarah.
This is Matthew.
And today is part 2 of our Hawkeye coverage.
In episode 37?
37. Sorry, I forgot to say that. So today we are going over episodes 4 through 6.
This episode pretty much continues right off from where episode 3 ended.
Because if you remember, Jack had Hawkeye at knife point, basically.
Because he thought people were breaking in.
Yeah.
And so they all sit down at probably one of the most awkward conversations. Like, I got the vibe. Do you remember when you would bring, like, someone you were dating home?
No. You were the first person that ever met my family.
But you know what I mean, like, bringing someone home, like, you know, in in movies where it's, like, super awkward? I got that vibe from, like, the conversation of Hawkeye, Kate, her parents, or her mom and stepdad. Someone bringing their partner home, which technically is not wrong. They are partners.
Just not in that way.
Not in that way. She was saying they're partners, he was saying they're not. And then Hawkeye and her mom, when seeing him out, has a conversation. It's like, hey, leave my daughter alone. She's not old enough to be a part of this. He's like, I know, I don't want to include her. It's just, essentially, it's just a series of unfortunate events. Because she just keeps trying to help when he has everything under control. You were saying while we were watching, the mom is being super sus.
Yeah. So basically, they send Hawkeye away, and he goes back to the aunt's apartment, and he tapes a bunch of frozen food to his body because he's like really sore.
Yeah. Was this in this episode where the mom and stepdad were dancing while Kate was like laying on the couch?
I think so. And they're like making fun of him for getting like movie quotes wrong.
He says something like romantically cheesy, but it sounded wrong. I think he said like, my heart is empty when I'm near you.
Absence makes the heart grow emptier or something.
Yeah, which how he said it is wrong, like not the correct way to say it. But I don't think English is his first language. Maybe French?
Duquesne is a French name.
So French? So he may be from France. But Duquesne's...
Because it's spelled like Duquesne. The guy in the comics I was reading, his name is Jacques.
Yeah.
Which is French.
Yeah.
Hawkeye takes a bunch of frozen peas and...
to like his arm, like his...
He has like a frozen slushie taped to him too. And then Kate brings over a bunch of Christmas movies.
And ugly sweaters, because apparently tonight was supposed to be...
No, it was their movie marathon.
Yeah, the movie marathon.
And there's like a scheming montage.
You know me, I love a good montage.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just glad that not all the montages are in this show like fighting montages.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a montage in WandaVision?
Remember?
I don't think so. And there wasn't a montage in Loki, unless if you count the Lady Sif part as a montage.
I don't know. He basically teaches her how to snap a coin.
Yes. Or how to aim with it.
Which will come into play later.
Yeah.
And this is a reference to Hawkeye's brother.
Yeah. Trickshot. Who is... So in the comics, Hawkeye's original name was Trickshot. When he was with the circus. I don't remember what the circus is called, but he was a villain. And the circus would rob people, and he was captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. and agreed to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. Then his brother took his mantle as the villain. I cannot remember the brother's name off the top of my head right now.
And then he tells Kate the story of almost killing Natasha.
I'm glad they finally... I always thought Natasha joined S.H.I.E.L.D. before him, for some reason. I always thought that Natasha's the one that helped bring him in, but that makes a lot more sense now with their dynamic. That he's always like trying to protect Black Widow. Because he's also trying to protect her legacy as well. They just end the night and she learns, or Kate learns that he was Ronin, or guesses he was Ronin.
And as an audience, we already knew this.
Yeah.
And then Kate goes to enlist the LARPers to get their trick arrows.
Yeah, the next day, she goes and finds them while he calls his wife.
Well, because
about the Rolex.
Some of the LARPers are like first responders.
They're all all those so all the LARPers in their group are first responders.
And because their arrows are in police custody.
I think there's like one police officer and
It's the black
3,
lady.
yeah, who, in my opinion, has one of the funniest lines in the show because she and Hawkeye have a little banter about her duffel bag. How he's trying to take the duffel bag and she doesn't want him to take that, which I think is kind of funny.
Well, because isn't she Bombshell?
No, the duffel bag said bombshell.
Yeah, but that's what the new Rockstar's video said, was that she was Bombshell.
Maybe.
Or
I
that
don't
she's
know.
a lot of the LARPers characters are referencing comic book characters.
Yeah. I don't know enough about the smaller characters really. I just know the main ones.
A lot of them are villains,
Yeah.
apparently. But it's just that they share, like, it's just that they're just trying to, like, do tips of the hat.
Yeah. Which I don't mind in the TV shows. Like in the movies, yeah, I don't want too many references, but in a TV show, I don't mind if they have a ton of comic book references in them, like for different characters and stuff like that. Like just little subtle things.
Hmm.
Flint goes and threatens Kazi to pretty much say like, "Hey, get Maya off my back, and no one else has to get hurt." He gets back to the apartment, and all of the LARPers are there making new costumes for them, which I think that's kind of funny. I really did wish we got Hawkeye's original costume, but I'm glad we got the same color scheme of the original costume, the black and purple.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'm glad that they didn't do the original, because I just don't think it's the vibe.
But that's Hawkeye's original, though. I mean, we saw Wanda's original, we saw Loki's original.
But it was like a joke. It wasn't
No, I
sincere.
know, I know.
Maybe in like a montage where they were trying on new things, it could have been funny to like have Clint like try on the
Even
original
just like the
costume
headpiece,
and then just be like, nah.
because we've
I think
so
that could have been funny. Like
and
one of those like very early 2000s makeover montages.
yeah, I mean Kate Bishop's is pretty spot on.
So when we do the deep dives on Patreon, I tried like the thumbnail, like it has like the comic book person and then
Yeah,
the MCU person in the thumbnail. And so like I have to look up a lot of the comic book like
some of them are really
photos.
cheesy. Some of them are
And like
funny.
that's what spurred me to, I did on the Instagram, I did like a little like um during Falcon Week, I did like a little poll
Yeah.
of like, what do you like, the comic outfit or the show outfit
Hmm.
better? And like the Falcon outfit is like pretty spot on. I think his wings are like metallic.
Or
In
Falcons as Captain America is spot on when he's Captain America.
Well, no, I mean at the end of the show.
Yeah. His Captain America outfit with his comic book Captain America outfit are pretty spot on. John Walker's is better when he becomes the US agent. Like actual legitimate costume, I have to say is Kate Bishop. Because yes, Wanda had hers on and Vision had theirs on, but it was for a Halloween costume.
Yeah, and then
Not actually.
Sharon Carter's kind of looks like Yelena's like white outfit.
Yeah. That's it. I don't know a lot about Florence Pugh's character.
Yelena.
Yelena. I don't know a lot about her. I know that when Hawkeye and Black Widow both retire, they take over as Hawkeye and Black Widow. They have the same like friendly chemistry later in the show. The only one that I would add to that chemistry would be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, because I think the three of them would get along very, very well. So Laura, I thought she was like a Black Widow with how easy she can speak Russian. When Hawkeye and
It
her
was
were,
German that she was speaking.
I thought it was Russian.
No, it was
That
German.
Hawkeye and her were speaking.
No, it was German.
Never mind, my theory is full of
She also
holes
has
then.
3 children.
I know, that was the other hole. But it makes sense when she's freaking out about the watch. Making sure the watch got destroyed.
Well, we figure out why.
Yeah, but before that, we didn't know. Well,
So,
why would the watch be at the Avengers compound? Unless if the Avengers compound just took everything that was S.H.I.E.L.D. related.
well, I'll get to it, but
Okay.
so Kate then breaks into an apartment and we figure out there's a silent alarm.
Mm-hmm.
which basically means that it's Maya's apartment because silence alarms are for those that can't hear.
Yeah.
I really apologize for my voice in this episode. There's really nothing I can do about it. So,
It's completely a-okay.
if you hear my voice being like kind of shot and like really hard, or like it's difficult to say some things, I apologize. I'm okay. It sounds a lot worse than it is, and I'm trying to truck through it. So basically, Kate then steals the watch, and then she finds notes on Clint's family.
Yeah. So Clint's the one that figures out that it's silence alarms because she said it's just blinking lights. And he's like, those are silence alarms, get out of there. And then she freaks out. But how she gets in is hilarious in my opinion. He's like, okay, we need to break in. It shouldn't take me 3 minutes to break in. And then she just goes up the elevator with some dude,
Yeah,
which is kind of funny. But that fits her character better than climbing up the side of the wall to break in. That
yep.
fits more of her character.
Clint lands on the roof.
Yeah, he would go for the roof access, and Maya's there and kicks him backwards. He shoots one of his trick arrow slide thing, or trip, not tripwire, what's that word I'm thinking of? That she rides her bow on, and then gets stuck,
Zipline?
zip line. And then she gets halfway, and she's just like pushing it up and trying to go forward,
Uh-huh.
which is funny
Yeah, she needs more momentum.
because she's too light.
Yeah.
I think Hawkeye would have had no issue, but he wouldn't. I think he shot it at the angle that it would have been good for him. I think for her it would have needed to be more steep,
Yeah.
since she's also probably like half his weight. So the Black Widow attaches the like a rope to her and pushes her out of the way, and then she's like, "Oh, hell no!" and then runs back up or climbs back up, and he's like, "Okay, partnership done. We have a Black Widow assassin now after us."
Well, and she falls on a thing of Christmas lights.
Yeah.
This like canopy of Christmas lights.
Yeah, and she's like,
Which I
"Oh,
thought was a cool touch.
yeah." Which you see in like a lot of like action, like more action.
You typically see it like somebody's falling on like a bunch of awnings.
Yeah.
But the Christmas lights was a nice touch.
Or
If she was any heavier, she would have died.
or if you're Bucky and you fall through trees.
Yeah, but if she
Which
was
is-
any heavier, those Christmas lights would not
Oh
have held.
yeah, no, those Christmas lights would break under me. I'm only 160 pounds. Those would have shattered under me.
And then we get the face reveal of the Black Widow assassin, and it's Florence Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Florence Pugh.
Do we see her face there, or is
Yes,
that next episode?
we do.
Episode 5 is called Ronin, where we start off in 2018. If you all remember what happens in 2018, it's the blip. Florence Pugh and some other chick, I do not remember her name off the top of my head. I don't even think they say her name.
I can't even help you because I haven't seen the movie yet.
No, didn't they say her name in the show?
I think they did. I do not remember.
I do not
It's
remember
irrelevant
either.
at this point.
They break into this very, very wealthy house, which in my mind, like, oh, she's still a Black Widow. She's going to go kill whoever is in there, right? As Black Widows do. They're assassins. They're literally the Russian Charlie's Angels, which I don't even. Is KGB even a thing anymore?
Let me Google it. I don't think so.
Your FBI agent's like, why is Sarah looking up KGB? No, I think the KGB ended in the 70s? 60s?
The failed coup d'etat and the collapse of the USSR heralded the end of the KGB on the 3rd of December 1991.
I was close. I said 70s. They're trying. So when they break into this house, they tackle this.
She looked like a young-ish mom, like maybe mid-30s.
Yeah, so they tackled this 30-year-old and put this red smoke in her face. So the red smoke apparently gets rid of the Black Widow programming.
It's an antidote, they call it.
For the Black Widow programming? Why didn't they try that for Bucky? I mean, the Winter Soldier is very brainwashing, has to be similar to Black Widow brainwashing, right?
I don't know, maybe they didn't know about it.
Maybe. And so she's like, I'm not brainwashed, and you just ruined my rug. And this rug.
Like to spend $10,000 on a rug just casually.
What is like just to have $10,000 casually? That's a lot of money.
I think we have a $30 rug in our living room right now.
I don't even think it's $30. I think I got it on sale for like $19.
I will never understand how people can spend your money on whatever you want to spend your money on.
But-
No shade, but like
why
$10,000 on a rug that
And it was under a dining room table.
well, first of all, your toddler is gonna get food all
But she
over.
didn't have a toddler
Well, I guess at that time she
at
didn't.
that time.
But like, I know for a fact we have a 19-month-old, and he would ruin that thing in a heartbeat.
Florence Pugh goes, they talk. She says, well, this is all mine. I'm not with anyone, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember the whole conversation. She's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the restroom and then we'll leave. And then she gets dusted. And then 5 seconds later, she gets undusted. And the bathrooms change colors. Life pictures have changed. And she goes out the bathroom and she is shocked by what happened. And she doesn't believe that she's been gone for 5 years.
So Kate and her mom are having a conversation. Yeah.
This is the conversation with them dancing.
Yeah, I don't really like this scene very much.
No, it's weird.
It's a very weird,
It's
I'm not sure if it was a characterization thing or if it was like a editing thing. I just find it kind of unsettling. Like the dancing, like if it was any other like if this scene was like at the beginning of the show, I would find it more adorable and less
less cringy.
less weird. But like it felt really off to me. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Kate then goes back to her apartment and runs into Yelena. And this is where I have to just tell you guys my love for Florence Pugh. Because I love her so much. I think, first of all, right off the bat, her accents are amazing. It took me forever to know like what her real accent, like Florence Pugh's actual accent is. Took me forever to realize she's actually British because her accents are flawless.
Yeah.
She's amazing in Little Women. She's amazing in Midsommar. She's amazing in like so many things. I did watch half of Don't Worry Darling and I thought it was extraordinarily boring.
I mean, I blame the director for that.
Like I only watched half of it and I thought there was very little happening and I turned it off. I might revisit the other half eventually, but I couldn't take it. It was so painful. Um, but like the little bits that I did see, I thought Florence did amazing in it.
Yeah.
Like she was not the problem at all. I just thought that the actual structure of the movie was super boring. Anyway, I love Florence Pugh so much. I think her choices and her dynamic acting and the way that her face looks in certain scenes, like honestly, case in point, look at Midsommar. She is incredible in that movie. But yeah, anyway, so the scene is both comical but also like really thought provoking. But so Yelena basically makes mac and cheese and chastises Kate for only owning one fork.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame Kate for only owning one.
I lived alone for a long time and I owned several more forks.
I think she lived on campus and she was just home for winter break. So, I mean, if you were home maybe 2 months out of the year, would you have more than 2 forks?
She only had one.
Or would you have more than one if you're only home for 2 months out of the year?
Yeah, but like, do you never have anybody over?
She probably goes to her mom's house apartment.
House apartment.
I'm not saying apartment because it's bigger than our house.
We basically learned that Yelena is there to kill Clint. Like she was hired to kill him.
Yeah, she doesn't know by who, because she also hates Clint. Because she thinks
that he's responsible for Natasha.
I mean, is, but he also isn't. He tried to fight to sacrifice himself.
I don't think he was responsible because she ended up sacrificing herself.
But he was trying to sacrifice himself to save her. They're both responsible for her death.
There's a conversation between Yelena and Kate about like morals and what makes a good person. And I think that this conversation is really dynamic and really interesting. And Yelena truly is like one of the few characters that is truly morally gray.
Mm-hmm.
At least so far. I don't, from what I know about her right now, having not seen Black Widow yet.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So then Jack gets arrested, which really solidified that he was the red herring.
Yeah.
Like, literally, if you've watched any cop show ever, you know that there's always a person that's arrested way too early in the episode.
Yeah.
And it's never that person. So then Clint goes to the Battle of New York Memorial to talk to Natasha.
Yes. Which makes sense why he would go to the one place that she has a sign or a poster. Because A, she's a secret agent, and if I was a secret agent, I wouldn't want my name everywhere. Because I feel like that's just asking to get your family found.
And he turns off his hearing aid so he can kind of shut the world out.
Yeah.
Which, good lord, I wish I could do that. I don't wish to have hearing problems.
Yeah.
But I do wish sometimes I could just like I guess you could put noise canceling headphones on, which is essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, so then Kate is like blowing Clint's phone up,
And just completely fills his voicemail.
and then Clint sends a message to Maya using a messenger arrow.
I just love his trick arrows. Because you don't know what half of them do until he fires them, especially the Pym arrow. So Maya goes and waits in the parking lot because the note says something like, "What's in this where it all began," or something, which I got Harry Potter vibes from.
I open it to close.
Yeah. "What's in where we began," which...
Let's finish this the way we started it. Together. Hate that scene. I hate that scene so much.
I read a fan theory earlier about Harry Potter and Voldemort.
Oh god. If it's not one of our episodes that doesn't devolve into some random Harry Potter conversation.
Some of Harry's accidental uses of magic growing up was the Horcrux protecting itself.
No.
The piece of Voldemort's soul inside Harry used its magic to protect him from harm, not enough to make him invulnerable, but to avoid dangerous threats. Like the snake.
Okay, these are the same people that are like, the Dursleys were so mean to him because of the Horcrux.
It was! Look at Ron! Maya's waiting for... I'm just going to call him Ronan in this scene because he is Ronan in this scene. He's not being Hawkeye at this particular moment. Ronan goes and silent assassins everyone there. Not by killing them, but just by knocking them out. He is also a ninja. I'm sorry. If I saw someone coming at me with a giant sword, I think I would freak out. Right? Hawkeye never misses. He shot 18 for 18 in golf. And retired from golf.
So we learn that Maya's boss hired Ronan to kill her father.
Yes. Which... I don't like who they got to be the big boss. I don't. It feels like a cop-out. It makes sense because he's their boss in the comics. He's a tracksuit mafia boss in the comics. So, but it feels...
easy.
Yes, like an easy out. I wish they went with someone else, or something else entirely. Like, if Kazi was the real boss, would have been an interesting twist.
Yeah, I would have preferred an actual twist.
But it makes sense.
Because, okay, coming from a non-comic book perspective and not, like, I didn't have the knowledge of werewolf. Daredevil is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
I didn't have the
If you didn't have the Daredevil knowledge, you wouldn't even know
there's
who
not
the
really
big
a
boss was.
payoff here.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. That's why I was shocked when I saw the picture, because I saw it right away and realized it right away.
Well, and I was like, oh, am I supposed to know that guy? Like,
because this is the first time he's been shown in the... That's the thing. I don't know if Daredevil... when I say Daredevil, I mean the Netflix. The Defenders. Like, I don't know if Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and whatever the fourth one's called. The one with Dandy. The dragon one. Iron Fist. I don't know if those are canon or not. Because I've read they are, and I've read they're not. Technically, wouldn't they be canon now since he's the major villain in...
Probably.
In season 1, 2, and 3?
So then we learned that Yelena was hired by Kate's mom.
Yeah. She tells Kate that pretty much your mom hired me, and sends her a video of her and Wilson talking.
And we learn that Kate's mom is working with Kingpin, and that's the end of episode 5.
Which, so for those who don't know who Kingpin is the Daredevil and Spider-Man's main villain in the Spider-Man has Doc Ock and a bunch of other villains, but Kingpin is the main crime boss villain. Like, he doesn't really fight non-New Yorkers. So Tony and Cap aren't really based in New York. Spider-Man's only based in New York. Same with Daredevil, it's only based in New York. They don't travel around the globe like the regular Avengers do. So, I mean, it feels cop-outish with them using Kingpin because there is a deleted scene that would have made a lot more sense with Kingpin if Daredevil was in the show. It would have made a lot more sense. But
did you know that Kingpin is played by Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yes.
Who is the lead in Law and Order: Criminal Intent?
I didn't know he was the lead in Criminal Intent, but did you know he was in Men in Black?
Yeah.
He's the giant roach dude.
Yeah, I didn't put it together. I've never been a Criminal Intent fan. Okay, I'm an SVU.
Which one's Criminal Intent?
I'm an SVU stan, but Criminal Intent I have heard gets pretty decent.
Which one's Criminal Intent? Is that the new one that got
No,
remade?
that's Mothership.
Okay.
Sorry to those who don't understand Law and Order. Basically, people refer to the original recipe,
The
Law and
original
Order,
show.
as Mothership because it spawned a bunch of stuff.
So kind of like Arrow for the Arrowverse.
Kind of.
Okay.
And when they recently relaunched the Mothership, quote unquote, they brought back a couple of legacy characters.
Okay.
But I don't think Vincent D'Onofrio was in that.
I don't think he was either. So,
but he was in Criminal Intent.
okay, so
he was basically the stabler of Criminal Intent.
If you guys want us to, or if you guys want me to do a deep dive on a specific character that is not even in the MCU yet, or a particular comic arc, let me know. You can send me a message
on all of our social media.
On our social media.
Matthew's been doing a bunch of deep dives for various different characters.
And right now I've just been focusing on MCU characters. But if you guys want me to cover more obscure characters.
And if you want access to all those, follow us on Patreon.
Yeah. To get all the deep dives, it's just $3 a month.
Anyway.
And you get the episodes a day early.
So episode 6 is called This Is Christmas. Sorry, it's called So This Is Christmas. So basically, we meet Wilson Fisk.
We see the rest of the video. We saw the episode ended with a picture, and the next episode started with the video. Or it's a video of the recreation, because we saw at the end what really happened.
It's like security cam footage, basically.
And that's how this episode starts. And she's shocked. She gets up, goes to her mom, and is like, "How could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah." I don't remember exact words. But, Kate is stunned. Clint is stunned. Yeah, Maya goes and meets Wilson. And pretty much says, "I'm done. You had my dad killed. I'm leaving." And he's like, "I love you, Maya."
Well, he's basically like her surrogate uncle, essentially.
Yeah. It's like, "I love you, Maya." Blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, that's still better than him saying Vanessa in all of Daredevil.
Okay, so then we have a montage of Clint and Kate. Clint and Kate is really hard to say.
The C
making
and
a
K
bunch.
team.
They're making a bunch of
Trick
trick
arrows.
arrows.
And she's happy because she gets to learn how to make them.
See, you wanted more montages. You get more montages.
I know. I mean, montages aren't my favorite thing in the world, but fighting ones are the ones that bother me.
They're not that interesting.
Or not fighting montages, like the working out montages that you see in
training montages?
Yes. Yes, this is a training montage, but it's funny because they're building the arrows and you see them build it and you see Stark-headed arrowheads.
See, I like a classic.
You see Pym arrowheads.
I like a classic 2000s makeover montage.
But you see all the different arrowheads he has, though.
He's got Stark ones. He's got Pym ones.
He has hammer ones. He has aim ones. He has arrowheads from everyone. Which, I mean, the hammer ones probably don't work very well, just like any normal hammer product.
I'm still never going to be over Sam Rockwell. I love him.
What was the
He's
missile
so
called? The
funny.
Big Daddy, and it like just bounced off of the
I
armor.
don't remember. I feel like it's been an eternity since we watched that movie.
Oh my gosh, that movie came out. That was the first movie of Phase 2. That movie came out in 2013 because I saw it in Florida in 13.
So Clint and Kate go to the holiday party.
Oh, and Kate is labeling all the arrows.
Yeah, which you made a good point about something.
Wouldn't the arrows be off-centered? But I mean, they're also trick arrows, so I don't know if I want to look at it with real physics.
But I told him we gotta suspend our disbelief here.
Yeah, because I mean, trick arrows do exist. The sticker put too much weight on the tail, which would make the tail go down. They counterbalanced it, putting more weight on the head. I don't know enough about archery to
I
really.
don't know enough about physics.
Physics, I know. It's archery, I don't. I know how to shoot a bow.
My gym class, and I was in like the 6th grade, we did an archery lesson.
Oh my gosh.
I was actually really good at it.
Nice.
Shockingly.
I mean, all it is pulling a string, but you are also
If
weak.
you know me at all, I am the least agile person.
You don't need to be agile for archery.
I'm like super clumsy. I'm like don't have very good aim. I can't throw for but like archery for some reason I was to be fair, I was also like 11, so like keep that in mind.
When our son is older, I want to get him like one of those
Like Nerf ones.
not Nerf, the silicone tipped ones
Mhm.
that will just stick to like doors.
Like the suction cup ones.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind getting him the Nerf one.
I'll
Or you would steal it.
probably that one. Probably steal it and have him distract you while I shoot you
I
with
mean,
it.
so fun fact about my weird family is that every Christmas we have a traditional Nerf gun fight.
I have
I don't know where this started, don't ask, but like my family every year, my mom gets everybody in their stockings, everybody gets a tiny Nerf gun, and we battle um until everybody runs out of bullets. And it's hilarious and it's funny and like
had a lot of fun when I did it.
it's gotten even more fun as my niece and nephew have gotten older.
Uh,
So yeah, they go to the party. The LARPers are disguised as waiters. Um, oh, fun, interesting thing about this party scene is that the way that it's shot is there's always something red and always something green in the frame
yeah.
during the party,
Because
which
it
I
is
think is real.
Christmas Eve.
But I think it's really subtle. Like there'll be like like Yelena in her green coat
Yeah.
next to two people in red.
Yeah.
Or like there'll
Why,
be something red in the background and somebody green in the
why is
foreground.
Christmas colors red and green?
Kazi fires shots into the party.
He sees Hawkeye and tries to take a shot, and Hawkeye sees the. Kazi takes a shot at Hawkeye. Hawkeye sees the red laser dot on the drinks. As soon as he's about to fire, Hawkeye flips the thing up in the air and it shoots the glass holder.
I love that he grabs like the tray and like uses it as a shield.
It's more to deflect a bullet and then he drops
I
it.
still think it's cool though.
No, I know it is cool, but I don't think a bullet would stop them. I don't think that would stop a bullet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe. I don't know.
Kate meets up with Yelena in the elevator and her dress gets ripped and it reveals her purple uniform
No,
underneath.
but before that, she meets up with her mom and says like, "Stay in the kitchen. This is all your fault, and we have to fix your mess."
Mhm.
She's like, "I was just trying to protect you." And she was like, "Well, this is all your fault, and people are here to kill you. So stay put." Then she meets up with Florence Pugh in the elevator. They have a mini fight in the elevator.
And then
I would call it a fight.
she pushes all of the buttons a la Buddy the Elf.
I'm sorry. When I was younger, I would always do that.
Like what is it about kids that just like they cannot resist the urge to push every button?
Because it lights up and it looks cool.
And then there's this sequence where Kate and Yelena are kind of like fighting through Like, there's like this panning shot through offices.
which is really cool.
I think it's awesome. It's this awesome tracking shot. They had to have built the set in a certain way that it almost like
I think they just did it where they would go through one room and stop, and then bring in the other set, and then go back through.
unless it was one big long set and they did it like it kind of looks like a dollhouse, kind of.
Because it was all flat, that's the thing. So unless if it curved, so unless if like during the panning shot they wrote like
I would love to see a BTS of that scene
yeah.
because I thought that scene was really cool.
And then like they're talking and she's like, that was a pretty cool flip, and she's like, or Florence Pugh said, that's a pretty cool throw. That kind of hurt when she threw the what's that thing called? The string with the two balls on the end. The Boland ball? Like to when you throw it like to like wrap someone's arms up together, hands up together.
All I know is it's a game.
Yeah, I know.
Like you have like the ladder with like
Yeah,
the two
and
golf balls on like
yeah,
on a
that.
string.
She threw that and hit the like the stick out of her hand or the gun out of her hand, and she's like, "Ow, that hurts." She's like, "Yeah, the kick to the rib also hurt."
Hmm.
She's like, "Yeah, well, I need to kill Hawkeye now."
They're pretty well matched.
Yes, they are. For someone who's been training their entire life as Black Widow, is evenly matched with someone who just recently started training as an Avenger. So, does that show with Kate Bishop is an excellent fighter, or does that show that the Black Widow program is terrible?
Yeah. Um,
Because one's been brainwashed, and the other is a master archer and
Clint
martial artist,
then fires a trick arrow at Kazi.
and into the room and smokes him out.
And
And
then Kate repels down the building like it's like
or no, Ivana does it first.
Elena.
Florence Pugh repels down and like kicks Hawkeye in the chest, just falls,
And
and
then
then
Kate does it, and apparently this shot is very similar to, again, haven't seen the movie. Um, it's a direct reference to Die Hard, supposedly.
unless it was the same building, is it Nagasaki Tower?
Or is it Nagasaki? Isn't that the town from Japan that got bombed?
Could be the same name.
Nakatomi.
Nakatomi.
I think it's called Nakatomi.
The only reason why I know that is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. When they go to when they
I
want to
completely forgot about its role in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Just about the only thing I know about Die Hard is that it's set in Christmas, around Christmas. Alan Rickman is in it, and that Jake Peralta loves it.
yes, maybe that's the same tower.
That's Rockefeller Center.
I mean, in the movie, that could have been what that tower was inspired by. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure the. And so Kate goes down and is freaking out
And
over it.
Jack's down there, and he's using a sword to take out a bunch of tracksuits.
Or no, that's later.
No.
Because yeah, so she jumps down, freaks out as she's falling, and like superhero lands. Clint yells like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then the tracksuits show up,
Hmm.
and he's setting bombs everywhere. And does he fight Kazi in that room?
Yeah, Kazi finds Clint, and then Clint falls out of a window and falls into the Rockefeller tree.
And we see Baby Owl.
Which is apparently a inspired by a real owl found in Rockefeller tree like the year before.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought you were going to make another Die Hard reference.
No.
Okay. But you see where I was going.
I think the real life owl's name is Rocky.
It would make sense because it's in Rockefeller, so
Yeah.
Rocky's close to Rockefeller.
I didn't make that connection. I was like, why is it Rocky? Rocky takes place in Philadelphia.
Kate comes out looking for Hawkeye. She's like, Clint, where are you? And he's like, I'm in the tree. She's like, what tree? He was like, the tree on the ice rink. What other tree is there?
Which in real life, that tree is just as big as you think it is.
And he's like, I'm going to get down myself. She's like, no, I want to help you.
I will say, word to the wise, if you ever go to Manhattan, unless you like are desperate to see it, don't go near Rockefeller Center at Christmas time. It is an absolute zoo, and like you're never gonna get out of there. It is insane. It's pretty, don't get me wrong.
And then she shoots down the tree with Clint in it after him saying like, no, 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 no. Don't shoot down the tree. I'll get out myself. And then the tree falls.
Well, Kate sends an acid arrow and knocks over the tree.
Yeah.
And then she like gracefully slides in on the ice.
And like shoots a ton of people while they get surrounded. Kinda? I don't know if I would call it ice skating. I would call it
You look like Bambi?
more of me falling and getting up for about 5 seconds
Do you
and
think
then
you know
falling.
the answer to that question for me?
You're too uncoordinated to even attempt to walk with ice skates. You trip in regular shoes.
I loved ice skating as a kid. So I took ice skating lessons as like a small child,
I think
and
everyone did as a small child.
my coach at the time was like to my mom was like if you like keep up with it, like she could have a chance at like being like really really good. I was like 6 at the time, and I did not stick with it, and now I'm the clumsiest human being ever. So,
And then Clint takes his shirt off and he's wearing the new outfit, which she's happy that he's wearing it.
and then we get the variety of arrows that they have.
Ooh, those freaking arrows. The trank arrows, the shrinking Pym arrow,
Oh, they shrink a truck.
the electromagnetic arrow.
They shrink one of the trucks. And the subtitles literally at the bottom it says
Help!
children screaming. It says
Yeah,
children
and so
screaming.
it's like, help! Yeah, help! And then she's like, what are we going to do? How do we fix it? She's like, I don't know. Let
And
me
then
call
Rocky
Scott.
comes in.
And then Rocky just comes in and swoops away. It's like, oh, that takes care of it.
Those people were owl food.
Yeah. Do you remember why they were able to shrink?
You explained it to me this morning.
So, if you remember in the first Ant-Man movie, the baby lamb,
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Baby
baby lamb,
Lamb.
when the baby lamb was shrinking, it wasn't encased in anything. You know, like the Ant-Man suit, you have to be fully encased. You can't shrink without the helmet on or anything else missing.
Hmm.
They were enclosed in a truck. They were in a tight area when they shrunk. Wouldn't he be able to just shoot them with a big arrow, though? Sorry, but that big arrow scene in the third episode is by far my favorite still. That highway bridge scene.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite by
So
far.
then Yelena confronts Clint about Natasha.
And Kate runs off to get to,
Save her mom.
yeah. And Florence Pugh is beating the snot out of Clint because Clint's not fighting back. And then he does their secret whistle, which reminded me of Hunger Games.
It was very. I can't whistle, so I'm not gonna do it. But it was very like doo 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 doo.
Similar to that. It was their secret whistle when they were kids. And
Hmm.
she was like, how do you know that whistle? He's like, because Natasha talked about you all the time. When she was flying the plane and you guys got separated, she blames herself for everything that happened to you. Or blamed, since she's dead. Not blames. But Kate takes on Wilson on her own, which is,
Wait.
oh,
First of all, she saves her mom from getting killed,
yeah,
and then Kazi is trying to reason with Maya,
yeah.
and she kills him. It's kind of implied that she and Kazi grew up together and/or are siblings.
I think grew up together because Kazi's a lot older than her. Kazi was her dad's right-hand man.
Well, because he's in her karate class during her flashback
As an adult or as a kid?
as a kid.
Oh, maybe they grew up together? Yeah, they must have grown up together.
Because there's a kid that looked kind of like he's like a little boy with like curly dark hair, and then in the credits it has him credited as young Kazi.
Okay. So then, yeah, they grew up together, so they've known each other for a long time.
And then this is where Kate fights Wilson.
Which is a dumb mistake, because this dude,
He's so big.
he's the size of Hulk.
And Wilson then takes all of her arrows and like snaps them in half.
And those are titanium rods. Those aren't easy to
Which,
break.
okay, this is not my theory. This is New Rockstar's theory.
What?
But he suspects that both Wilson as well as a lot of the tracksuit guys have some tiny dose of super serum.
No.
because one of the guys like punches glass, and like Wilson is like crazy strong.
Wilson does not have the super serum. Wilson is just strong. He's just abnormally strong.
Just throwing it out
No,
there.
in the comics, he doesn't have the super serum. He's just abnormally strong. In the comics, he's pure muscle.
God, what's that like?
Think of it
I'll
like
never know.
steroids.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a terrible theory.
Yeah, it's just
You could poke holes in it really fast, but I didn't think it
yeah.
was an
No,
I thought it was
because
an interesting one.
you can punch glass. It's not hard. But
So Kate then jumps on him and steals his cufflink,
yeah,
and then she flings it
at the
like
electromagnetic one.
how Clint taught her how to do the coin.
Yeah, she shot the electromagnetic
At first,
arrowhead.
I thought it was just a coin. I didn't realize it was his cufflink at first.
Yeah, but she grabbed on him like a freaking spider monkey. Sorry, the scene from Hangover 1. Have you seen the movie
No.
where Ken jumps on one of the dudes while Ken was locked in the trunk and jumps out? Sorry, it just reminded me of that because she like latched onto his arm.
And then Eleanor gets arrested.
She says something like, "Well, Avenger won't have their mother get arrested on Christmas Eve."
See, that is some true, like, abusive.
Narcissistic.
Yeah. And then Yelena decides not to kill Clint.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Wilson. Oh, so basically, she flings the cufflink onto all the broken arrows,
She
and it explodes.
aims for the electromagnetic
Yeah,
one that sets everything else off and like knocks him the ever living crap out.
but he survived.
Yes.
And then he gets in some kind of encounter with Maya, and she shoots him.
He's
We
like,
don't see.
all that we do is hear.
Which his last words are, "Family doesn't always see eye to eye."
Yeah.
And doesn't he go blind temporarily? So people have theorized that he's gonna come back because we never actually see him die.
Because there's an end scene credit where he reads the notes. Oh no. There's a deleted scene in Hawkeye where Hawkeye sends him a note with the, I think, broken Ronin sword, or with the Ronin sword. It's like, leave my family alone, or I'll be coming after you. And he reads it, so he's not blind.
Mm. But we do learn that he survived.
Yeah. It means I've been deleted scene.
And then we flash to Christmas Day, and Clint finally makes it home, and he brings Kate and Pizza Dog with him.
This show was setting up for something, seemed like something bad was going to happen with the family.
Yeah, we kept theorizing,
Like,
oh, they're gonna find out where Laura and the kids are.
yeah.
And that never happened.
But that's the thing. I think Wilson Fisk, so like old mob rules where you don't hurt women or children. So I think Wilson follows the old rules,
Yeah.
which makes sense. Which I'm not saying he's a good dude for obeying that, but
I just think that this is really sweet that because Kate really doesn't have any family anymore.
nope.
Her
She
dad's dead, her mom's in prison.
she has Jack.
But like I think it's really sweet that he like invites her.
I think she goes to live there or to stay there while she gets on her feet.
Yeah. Um and he brings back the Rolex to Laura,
Mm-hmm.
and we
We
get a
are
reveal that she is Agent 19.
puts a little hole on having Marvel Agents of Shield be canon because Mockingbird is also in there as someone else. So she may not be Agent 19. She may be someone else. We'll find out eventually, maybe. It's just a theory right now.
And then they go outside and they burn the Ronin suit on the
On the barbecue.
yeah. Which again, is it fireproof?
I think it's fire resistant. Fireproof and resistant are two vastly different things.
And the last thing we hear is them discussing what Kate's code name is.
I think her codename is just. But her mom
I like the idea of her, like, if Clint is gonna retire, for her to
That
like
she
take up the moniker of Hawkeye.
because I mean that's the thing. Florence Pugh does the same thing for Black Widow in the comics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad assessment.
Well, because Clint seems so desperate to retire.
He just wants to be with his family.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't either.
For me, it goes WandaVision, Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Or sorry, WandaVision, Loki,
Okay.
Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What about you?
Hawkeye, Falcon, Loki, Wanda. So pretty much the opposite of yours.
Okay.
I'm sorry. WandaVision was just boring. There was no action. There was...
I like it.
It was all just talky.
You liked House of Dragon and that was all talky.
The dragon, people dying, and like you saw.
Constitutes a good show, I guess. That's a wrap on Hawkeye.
Yep.
Join us next week for Moon Knight, and also we are recording this on Sunday night,
Yes.
and so there was no way in heck we were going to be able to get this out Monday morning. Yeah, we don't know about our schedule for next week, but we are covering Moon Knight, which I don't have. I watched half of an episode with Matthew when it first came out, and
That's the thing. Moon Knight is its own thing. From what I've seen and what I saw, it does not.
it didn't feel like a superhero show to me. But this is way before we had. So yeah, join us next week for Moon Knight, and we will talk to y'all next time.
Bye.
If you'd like to send us any feedback or messages, you can follow us on Instagram at thefanclub_podcast, follow us on Twitter at fanclub_podcast, and chat with us over on reddit.com/r/fanclubpodcast. And don't forget to tune in every Marvel Monday. See you next time. Bye.